And pleased now to welcome to our set Andrew Saxton. Mr. Saxton, good to see you again.
Peter, it's great to be here.
Thanks for being here. And I guess we're at it now. After all these weeks and months of campaigning, it comes down to this. And let me start there. Where do you think you stand as we get set to hear the result of this long race this weekend?
Well, Peter, because of the system that we're using as the party, 100 points per riding, it's really hard to predict how it's going to end up. I can tell you I spent a lot of time in the small ridings. I went across the country in an RV. I'm the only candidate who did that. I spent over a month traveling from coast to coast, and I met with people in over 250 towns. A lot of Tim Hortons, which is where Canada really decides on and discusses the big issues. So I've met with a lot of people across the country. I believe I've gone to more ridings than any other candidate. And it's important. It's important to show Canadians and show Conservatives that we care about them. I was in Granby, Quebec, and this one fellow said, Andrew, he says, you know, the Prime Minister drives by here, but he never stops. You stopped. Thank you for stopping. I'm going to support you. Okay. So this is what Canadians are telling me.
Do you still believe you can win?
You know what? Because of the system we've got, 100 points per riding, 338 ridings, you never know. You know, some of these small ridings in Atlantic Canada, in Quebec, that have less than 50 members, they wield a lot of power in this race. And I spent a lot of time in those ridings, so you just don't know how the cards are going to fall.
What was your strategy at one point urging party members to vote for a guy who believes that boring is good? What was the message you were trying to present to people?
The message there was that, look, you know, we've got show business right now in Ottawa, and government was never supposed to be show business. Look what it's brought us. It's brought us higher taxes, higher debt, less economic growth as a result of that. It's simply not fair to future generations. We need to get back to basics. And the basics are that we need somebody who has a steady hand at the tiller. I've got over 30 years experience both in the private sector as well as in government. I worked for two of the world's largest banks in 5 countries. I was senior vice president of HSBC at the age of 33 in Singapore. And I also worked with Jim Flaherty. I was member of parliament for 7 years and parliamentary secretary to the Minister of Finance.
Yeah, we spoke often during that time.
That's right. And I was part of the team that balanced the budget in 2015. I'm the only candidate who's actually balanced the federal budget and knows how to balance the federal budget.
Let's finish on that. Your main focus in the campaign has been the country's fiscal situation. You promised to get back to balance by 2021. Have the candidates talked enough about that? I mean, it's always been viewed as the strength of the Conservative Party, how to manage other people's money for the Canadian public, how to watch the taxpayers' money. Has there been enough focus on that in this campaign?
Well, you know what? You're absolutely right. The economy is the #1 issue. And I've been speaking to thousands of Canadians over the last 9 months, and they've been telling me the #1 issues on their minds are jobs and the economy. And that's where we have to go back to. We lost touch with the grassroots in the last election. We have to go back and listen to the grassroots. We also got off message in the last election campaign. If we stick to what we're good at, which is the economy and job creation, we will do well, because that's the #1 issue on people's minds, and especially for young people. You know, we did not have the support of young Canadians in the last election. We have to reach out to young Canadians with ideas that appeal to them, which is why I've been promoting my idea of an on-the-job training program based on the Swiss model. I lived in Switzerland. I saw firsthand how this apprenticeship program works. And it's wonderful because the unemployment rate amongst young Swiss is extremely low. The students are happy because they're getting paid to learn. The businesses are happy because they're teaching the skills necessary in that industry. And the government's happy because the private sector is doing most of the training. To win back young Canadians, we need to have ideas that appeal to them, and I'm the only one talking about that.
All right. Well, thanks for coming to talk to me about them today, and good luck. We'll see where you end up when all these numbers are counted this weekend. Andrew Saxton, good to talk to you again.
Thank you, Peter. Nice to talk to you as well.